Crisis. Spurs are out of the Champions League. They lost the second leg. Well, they drew the second leg 0-0, but AC Milan had beaten Spurs earlier on in the first leg 1-0 at San Siro, which means that Spurs are now out of the Champions League, which means, once again, Spurs are not winning the trophy. Surprise, surprise. So, honestly, where do Spurs go from here? Firstly, Harry Kane, elite striker, elite player, clearly their best player, and pretty much their main attraction, if we're being honest. I've done videos on Harry Kane before, but I'm going to say this again briefly for this video. He needs to decide what he wants for his legacy. Because I get it. Loyalty is admirable. Completely admirable. I respect that. Being the one club man, that's respectable to a degree. I can respect that to a degree. But sometimes that loyalty could be misplaced. It could be misplaced. Because it seems to me as if he's shown blind loyalty to this club. And this club, Spurs, have not supported him in competing and winning trophies on the pitch, quite frankly. And he needs to decide right now, because he's 30. He's practically 30 years old now. Yeah? Does he want to be a one club loyal man, or does he want to go out there and find a club where he can compete and win trophies? What does he want for his career? He needs to answer that for himself. For himself. Not for anybody else, but for himself. And as much as I want to banter Spurs and pile in on their misery as a rival fan, I'm going to be serious. Very serious. Yeah? I don't understand how, as a club, because I would assume that the main responsibility is to invest in the team, to invest in the club, to, invest in the recruitment team that can go out, scout players that can fit the Spurs system. I don't understand why Spurs as a club are busy doing all these deals with F1, the NFL, or organising these concerts at the stadium, while not reinvesting a lot of that money into the club. Now I get they have bills to pay for the stadium redevelopment, but at the same time, surely the main responsibility should be to the team. It should be to the club, nothing else. Well, at least that should be the number one priority here. But clearly it's not. Clearly it's not. And I just honestly, okay, you seem to show ambition when you hire elite managers like Mourinho, who many people would say was washed before he went to Spurs. Many people thought that Jose Mourinho was losing his touch before he went to Spurs, but for the most part he is still considered an elite manager for a lot of people still. So okay, so you hire Mourinho, doesn't work out. I mean, you sack him for a League Cup final, which he possibly could have won you, but instead you sack him, so that's done. Before that, you sacked Poch, even though you didn't really reinvest in the team, which he demanded, but you sack him anyway. So that's done. And he might come back like allegedly speaking, he might come back. There are reports circulating that Poch might come back to Spurs. and I'm not sure how true that is. We'll see what happens, but just speaking of history now, you sack Poch, yeah. And in between Poch and Mourinho, you hired Nuno, the former Wolves manager, but that didn't work out, so you sacked him. You then hire Conte, yeah. He's probably like one of arguably a top 5 elite manager in Europe, arguably. But now, once again, you've won nothing with him. Once again, it's been a failure. So what now? Because Conte's not staying in that Spurs job. He doesn't look inspired by this job that he's staying in, that he's in at the moment in Tottenham. Doesn't look it at all. So I think he's going to leave. I don't think he's signing a new contract, quite frankly. He's going to leave, and yeah, it confuses me. It really does confuse me. It's just so confusing because you hire these elite managers, but at the same time you don't show the proper commitment to invest. It really speaks of cognitive dissonance in a way, because the actions that you're taking aren't matching. Because you're saying that by hiring this manager, whether it's Conte or Mourinho, that you're very serious about competing for trophies right now, in the present time. But at the same time, you're not really investing enough money into the squad for them to improve and compete for trophies. Cognitive dissonance. That's what it is. That's what it is. I think there has to be frustration from the fans, rightfully so, because promises were made to you as the White Hart Lane Stadium was being redeveloped. Promises were made and they've not been kept. All this, it's a clear mockery at this point, to be quite honest. And Conte does share part of the blame, because he's made some choices which haven't helped the team. He's played the Lucas Moura more times than Danjuma. He was a good player from Villarreal, I believe, and he's barely featured. Richarlison's been a flop. A 16 million flop. Who else? Perisic, too old. He's just too old now. He's what, in his mid-30s now? He's too old. He was elite at one time, but he's past it now. He's washed. And it's just a mess, quite frankly. And like I said before, the first thing I would do as a club, as Spurs, is to sell Harry Kane to get money for him and reinvest in the squad. If that's their ambition, if that's their motive, we'll see. But you can't. Honestly, it's hard to feel sorry for the club. Do I feel sorry for the fans? Maybe not. I'm not so sure. I'll leave that aside for a minute. But the fact is, it's just not worked out once again. And you've done all these commercial deals, but you've not fulfilled the main priority, which was really reinvesting into the squad to compete for trophies. And so I don't honestly, I mean, once again, they're licking their wounds. No trophy since 2008. 15 years now. In the last 20 years, Spurs have only won one trophy. That was the League Cup, which was recently won by Man United. So, I'm just, wow. I'm amazed, quite frankly, to say it like, I'm amazed. I am completely amazed at what's going on. And you know, once again, Harry Kane, he needs to decide for himself whether he wants to stay part of this club. That is not showing any ambition, quite frankly. And as for Spurs, laughing stock, you're a joke. Pathetic. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Take care. God bless.